Hello and welcome into another live stream. What's going on? Matt O'Leary hanging out with you. Boy, do we have a lot to get into today. I am extremely excited for it. We're going to talk about the Jets quarterback situation. Just a reminder, you can become a member to support the channel, link down below. Send in super chats to jump the line, and you can follow along at Matt O'Leary NY on social media. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to Matt O'Leary NY and the Matt O'Leary NY extra channel too. Bonus content goes up over there. It's a ton of fun. So I'm excited tonight, and I think you guys should be as well. I don't know why you wouldn't be. The Jets are going to have a new quarterback, and I think by the end of the week, I would be absolutely stunned if we get to Friday and you don't know who the quarterback is, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr. And the good news is it feels like it's going to be one of those two guys. I don't think they're going to get down to their plan C, D, E. I know people were worried about, oh my God, what if it's you have to run it back with Mike White or Gardner Minshew comes in or it's Jacoby Brissett or something like that. I really don't think that's the case. I don't think that's what it's going to need to be. I really don't. I think it's going to have to get that far. And the reason why, let's share the screen. Let's pull it up. According to reports, Jeremy Fowler says, while the Panthers and Saints remain in the conversation for Derek Carr, the former Pro Bowl quarterback has a slight lean towards the Jets as his next home as of now, per source. Nothing is final, but Jets who are linked to Aaron Rodgers have made an impression. That to me is really cool. I like how that sounds a lot. And also I like the FanDuel, the Photoshop. That's a nice looking Photoshop. I'm going to be honest with you. But you know why I think this is actually pretty cool? A veteran quarterback, it's not one, but potentially two veteran quarterbacks want to come to the Jets to play football. Could you imagine saying that after 2020 or even 2021? You go 2-14 in 2020, and then you go 13? Or who knows? Yeah, they played 17 games. 4-13 the following year, this past year. But now you take that step up, you're 7-10. You have the offensive and defensive rookie of the years, but I don't know. This is pretty cool, guys. Derek Carr is leaning towards the Jets, and you still are waiting on Rodgers, which I see you guys in the comments. We're going to get into your guys' take on the situation, which this is what we do on the live streams. We hang out, we talk things through. It's going to be one of these two guys, which I'm good with either. I really am. Rodgers is probably the preference if you could actually get him to come. But if they ended up by Thursday, there's nothing imminent with Rodgers, and they signed Derek Carr, I'll be happy. I really would. I'm not going to sit here and say that I would complain about Derek Carr being the Jets quarterback next year. I wouldn't. If they don't think Rodgers is realistic or the timeline is just passing on, it's going on too long, then and you move on, so be it. Honestly, so be it. So I'm curious to see what you guys are saying in the chat. We'll just go back and forth a little bit. David is hanging with us. Says this might be the week. You guys could hear me burp? When was this? When the thing was going? My mic was? That's so funny. Just like a 911, we could hear you burp. Hashtag Murdoch. That's hysterical. Whoops. That's my bad. If Rodgers doesn't agree by Wednesday, I say forget him and give Carr whatever he wants. $40 million? Done. I don't even think Crossfire. I don't think it's going to take $40 million. I really don't. That would be like, I get it. I completely get it. I would go that high, but I don't think it's going to take that much. Supposedly 35. It might not get to 35, which is his asking price. I'm good with that. Evan says, what's up, Matt? Waiting for the news to break out. Derek Carr signs a 4-year deal, $90 million fully guaranteed. Also, Jets will push for D-Hop. That'd be cool. Let's see. What's 90 fully guaranteed? 90 divided by 4 is $22.5 million. That'd be a steal, honestly, for Derek Carr. I'd be in on that. And if you're getting him at that price, you're getting in on the mix on DeAndre Hopkins, okay. I think you need to add another veteran here. The Jets are finally getting their respect. Go Jets. Thank you, William, for the super chat. It's much appreciated. Yeah, it feels like they are getting that way. I like it. V-Man, what's up, dude? Derek Carr as the plan B to Aaron Rodgers is like Bob Hoskins as the backup plan to Robert De Niro for Al Capone in The Untouchables. Another amazing V-Man pull from the ages. We're going cinematography. We're going film this time. I love it. I'm like I said, V-Man, I think you feel the same way. You're good with either option. I'm good. If Derek Carr is quarterbacking the Jets in 2023, I think they win a lot of games. And like, look, we said it this past year. If they had someone like Derek Carr's capabilities behind center, you don't think they win 11 games? I think they absolutely could have won 11 games this past. They went 7-10 with arguably the worst quarterback play in the league. They couldn't find their way to 4 more wins on that schedule. I don't know. One, if not both of the New England games, Detroit, Jacksonville. How many other ones were mixed in there? The Dolphins in the last week of the year. You tell me they couldn't find their way to 4 more? I think absolutely. Daniel Murphy chimes in. What's up? Who are your non-tackle favorite prospects? Ooh, okay. So at the top of the draft, Brian Branch is a popular name. I really like him. I don't know if the Jets would go with a safety in the first round, but I like him. Can I cheat and go with the guard, Osiris Torrance? I really like him a lot. I don't know if the Jets would go with a guard, but I think he's going to be really good. I'm a big John Michael Schmitz fan. You guys know that all too well. So I love me some JMS. I would love for the Jets to grab him, but that's more of a second round guy. I do like Quentin Johnson and Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I don't know if I want the Jets to go wide receiver in the first round. There are prospects that I like, but if you're saying non-tackle favorite prospect for the Jets, Branch, probably. Jake, what's up, dude? He sends in a super chat. With A-Rod, your window is smaller, but you have a better chance of winning this upcoming season. But with Carr, you have more longevity. Either works. That's true. You definitely have a longer window of opportunity with Carr. I'm not sold that it's going to be like I keep seeing rather people saying with Carr, it's probably 6 years or so. You could potentially have Carr for 6. I don't know if it would be that long. I think 4 or 5 is probably the most you'd get out of Carr because let's say 32, 33, 34, 35. I think by the time he turns 35, you're probably looking at who the next quarterback is going to be. And then maybe you get him in for age 36. I know we've had some outlier examples of Brady playing forever and Rodgers playing forever. Those guys are freaks, usually around 35 in your mid 30s when it starts to go. But I'm with you. I like Carr. I would not be sitting here crying if Derek Carr is the next quarterback of the Jets. Brian, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, if Carr wants to be here, you think he takes less money to look more attractive than Rodgers? Maybe. I already think he's going to be in a position where, just based on reports, where he's going to come under what market value could be. Because I've seen, I think it was Fowler who had this most recent report saying that he doesn't think the Jets or not even the Jets, excuse me, the Carr would get 35 million, which he's asking for. If you're getting a player who can be a top 15 quarterback in the league for under $35 million a year, I think you're doing something right. Especially like you keep hearing how much money Daniel Jones is asking for. He's asking for $45 million a year, which I think is just insane. But let's play the game for a second. The Giants end up signing Daniel Jones to that contract. If that's what he's asking for, I don't think that's what they should do. I think they should franchise him, but that's a conversation for another day. And then the Jets signed Carr for, I don't know, 32 million a year. Would you rather Jones at 45 or Carr at 32? To me, it's not even close. I think you go with Carr. I love it. Appreciate the super chats flying in, guys. I thank you so much. Is that top provolone? I love that. How happy were you to see Carr allegedly say the Jets were his preference over Carolina? So much media hate for the Jets. Great to see. That is a phenomenal point. A phenomenal point that I think is worth mentioning and bringing up in this conversation is that for the first time in a long time, the New York Jets are a destination. It feels like a place where people want to go. Rodgers' best fit is probably with the Jets. Carr, apparently, his preference is the Jets. Think about it. Carolina, sure, they could go and win that division, but that roster's still a little bit of ways to go. The Jets are much closer. I think the league feels how we feel, that the Jets are a quarterback away from being a really, really damn good football team, a really good football team. And again, I think if Carr is the quarterback, or any pick any top 15 quarterback, the Jets are a double digit win team this year, and potentially even more above that. Now, does Rodgers have potentially a higher ceiling than Derek Carr? Yeah, I think you can make that case, and the Jets may have that case. But again, I think Carr could be really good, and I'm not even sold. I've seen in the comments and just people on social media saying that Carr can never win a Super Bowl. I'm not sold on that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think Derek Carr is absolutely a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. That's silly. But based on what we've seen, I don't know how you could say that a guy who's been a top 15 quarterback for a very long time, or a top half of the league quarterback, can't win with a really good roster around him. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl in 2017. I mean, you had a Jimmy G go to a Super Bowl in 2019. Carr's a better player than Jimmy G. 2015, the Broncos, on the backs of their strong defense, won with Peyton Manning, who was terrible that year. Peyton Manning was done. He could barely throw the ball anymore, but they had this great defense. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl in 2012. Eli won in 2011 and 2007. Is Eli a lock top 5 guy at the position every year? No, he wasn't. He was a good quarterback. And I'm not even saying, like, I don't think it's fair to go back to the early 2000s when it was, Trent Dilfer in 2000 or Brad Johnson in 2002. I don't like when people bring up those examples, because I think that's like way too far back. But there's been even more recent examples of, quarterbacks who haven't been very good going on deep runs. And Carr is a good quarterback. I don't know. Can he not be like Matthew Stafford? I think I put Stafford probably a little bit above Derek Carr, but it's not a huge difference. Tom Cahill says trade down is a must. In talking about the NFL draft, you want to trade back? That could potentially be on the table, especially if you have to give up picks to get Rodgers. But if not, and you are comfortable rolling with your tackles, then maybe you could move down. I'm not 100% opposed to it. But if one of the top 3 tackles are there, Broderick Jones, Peter Skoronski, or I almost said Paris Campbell. I don't know why. Johnson, I think you got to take him. Brother Nam, 61. So I think Aaron Rodgers would make the Jets a better team on paper than Derek Carr would, 100%, no doubt. But I think Carr's personality fits better with our culture and would play out better than AR. You know what? I don't know if I'm like in 100% lockstep with that agreement, or with that argument, but I can respect that. I do think that Carr his reputation is a little bit too much criticized, that he's not tough enough, or I just think he's someone, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's an emotional guy, but I think he's a good leader and a good teammate. And I'm sure if you asked around, the Raiders, they would say the same thing. Again, Rodgers is a Hall of Famer, no doubt. And I don't think that it wouldn't work, but could Rodgers rub people the wrong way? Yeah, absolutely. Carr, no. I mean, Carr's personality is not going to rub people the wrong way. I can tell you that much. Brian says, I live in the DC area. I watched the XFL game today. We should legit look at the Defenders punter. He is legit. I haven't watched much of the XFL at all. I just can't get into it for whatever reason. I know normally football, like more football is like, I love it. Like that's a good thing, but I just can't get into it. Anyone would be an upgrade over Braden Mann. So I'm on board with that. Daniel says, did you see Mangold tweeting Carr? Yeah, I just saw that pop up. So we'll pull it up on the screen. Thank you for pointing that out, Daniel. I'm going to minimize your comments so we can pull this up. He says, what's the word, Derek Carr? No one tells me anything, so I figured I'd go to the source. Hit me up if you need a realtor. I love it. We'll give that a like and a retweet on there. That's fantastic. Good stuff. I'm excited. Excuse me. I'll take a sip of my water. Good stuff. Jimmy from Seattle. is saying what I'm feeling. I'll be happy with either of these dudes. Me too. The top two guys after that is when, in my opinion, you see the drop off. And the drop off at third is Jimmy, who looks like the Raiders are supposedly interested in Jimmy G. Okay, fine. Go back and hang out with Josh McDaniels if that's what you want to do, man. He's just too injury prone for me. If he was healthy, if he played 16 games or 17 games, whatever, every single year that he was been in San Francisco, that's fine. I would think, yeah, you know what? He's on the same level as Carr, but he's not because of that reason. He constantly gets hurt. Tom says the price for Rodgers is going down by the minute. If he really wants to win, we're in. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be as costly as some people realize. Like I think, and less people are saying it now than a few weeks ago, but if you still think it's a first this year or multiple firsts, I think that's crazy. You might get a conditional first down the line, like in 24, but I the Jets are picking 13 this year if they're trading for Rodgers, or maybe they trade it back or whatever. But the point is they would still have their first round pick if they're trading for Rodgers, in my opinion. Jake says, let's announce Carr to the Jets while Matt is live. Can you imagine? We just go complete meltdown live on the camera. We'd be going nuts, man. I'd have to stay live for like hours and we'll just do reactions. We'll go through the comments, read them all off. That's great. John Finnegan, he's a member of the channel, by the way. If you're not, what are you doing? Get in on the fun. Cement this O-line once and for all. I want either quarterback, but they need to play 17 games for the price tag. Yeah. Isn't it crazy? The Jets haven't had someone play a full season since 2015. It was Ryan Fitzpatrick that year. And if you remember, he got hurt and had to come out in the game against the Raiders, and Geno played most of that game. So last time you really had someone play an entire season was Geno in 2013. That's a long time. That's a really long time without with quarterbacks and injuries and just benchings. I mean, think about it. 2016 it was going to be Fitzpatrick, and then he got benched, and can't blame him for getting benched. He played poorly. McCown in 17 played well and then got hurt. 18 Darnold rookie year got hurt. 19 Darnold got sick, mono. Yeah, and then we saw came in 19. It was Trevor Siemian and Luke Falk, right? God, Luke Falk started games for this team. That is terrible. 2020 was Darnold, and then Darnold got hurt, and then Flacco. Yeah, Flacco. 2021 Wilson, Flacco, Mike White, Josh Johnson. You had a million quarterbacks this year. God almighty, we don't have to run through that again, but yeah, that'd be nuts. Hennessy's hanging out with us. What's up, man? I give Rodgers 4 days. Yeah. So like, let's say 4 days from now. So by Thursday night, you're making your decision. I think that's fair. E-Boogie, Carr will be better than Stafford. I like that. I don't know if I mean, I hope that's the case if he signs with the Jets. I like Matthew Stafford a lot. I think he was criminally underrated when he was with Detroit. But there's no reason that, like, if Carr came with this supporting cast, would it shock you if he threw, I don't know, let's just throw numbers out there. 67% completion percentage, 4,300 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, yards per attempt above 7, like solid numbers. You take that. I think he gives you that every day of the week. Ooh, Dwayne says, what is your dream/realistic Jets O-line for A-Rod? So Brown coming back is interesting. Do you roll with it? I would still draft an offensive lineman, but with Brown coming back, you could probably have that O-lineman start at right tackle. So, like, let's say Brown, Tomlinson, John Michael Schmitz, AVT, and the rookie on the right side. So Paris Johnson. And then your depth is Becton and Mitchell. Or maybe Becton starts at one of the tackle spots and Brown is your backup. I think you just need to make sure that you have two capable backup guys because they're going to play. The Jets offensive line injuries are are huge. They're big issues. So um, I definitely think you need to add and draft that OT at 13. There's going to be a good one there. Citybert says, "What was your favorite offseason move that got you hyped for September, even if it didn't work out?" Ooh, am I telling on myself if I say Le'Veon Bell? I was very excited about Le'Veon. I thought that was going to help take Sam Darnold to the next level. I was really, really wrong about that. Um, I won't go draft. I was excited because I mean there are some other misses in the draft that I liked a lot. I liked both Darnold and Wilson coming out. I was a big Garrett Wilson fan, so that got me excited. But like I want to stick with signings. Yeah, Le'Veon is pretty high up on my list. I thought that was gonna be. I got his jersey before he ever played a game, and well, that one got donated to to charity. I do not still have the Le'Veon Bell Jets jersey, so I think that's gonna be my one that was a whiff. We got another super chat from Eastman says, "I believe Joe D really wants Carr. Having Woody come to Indy and meet up with him says a lot. Get us D Hop as quote, this is the year." You know what? That's a good point because Robert Saleh didn't go to Indy, which is fine, but he had the meeting there with him. But Woody meeting with him is interesting. Maybe that's like you know, the final, not the final push, but like obviously the owner has to sign off on every decision. And I think if JD says that's what they're going to do, then they'll go with it. But that's a good point. I never thought of it like that, but I think you bring up a really good point there with that one. Buffalo Jet fans in here. Thank you, my friend. He goes, if you stare at the Jets light long enough, the Jets quarterback answer will be revealed to you. I love it. Look at it right there. Flip that around. I love it. Thank you, Buffalo. I was watching you earlier today. I watched one of your videos earlier today. Good stuff. 20 and by the way, just to go back to Buffalo for a second, then I'll go back to Hennessy. I love your comment or response on Twitter to me earlier where you're like whispers Brown doesn't impact what the Jets should do at 13. And you're right by that. That was the point that I tried to make in my video earlier today as well. Hennessy says 25 touchdowns and 4,000 yards I'll expect from Carr, which is average for him. Yeah. I think you could do that in a second. I really do. David says if we get Carr, I'd like Mac Hollins as wide receiver 4. Okay. Yeah, he's someone who had a lot of success with Derek Carr, if I'm not mistaken, right? And I don't think he'd be like crazy expensive. This past year, 690 yards and 4 touchdowns. Yeah, 690 and 4 touchdowns. I thought he was pretty solid with Carr. He was in Miami the year before. His best year was this past year. Who am I thinking of in 2021 that had like a sneaky good year with Derek Carr? I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling up their stat lines right now. I mean, they really didn't have. It was Renfro, which that's not ever going to happen. Darren Waller. Beyond that, I mean, Brian Edwards and maybe Zay Jones. But where is he now? Isn't he in? Yeah, he's in Jacksonville. He had a good year there, so he's not going to be available. We got another super chat. Let's go down and grab it. Well, first we have Steven. So thank you, Steven, for the super chat. I don't see a comment from you, but if you have one, let me know and I'll pop it up. But I do appreciate the support. Citybert says, like how you said, no Tyreek led to Garrett Wilson. Maybe no Rodgers leads to blank or no Carr means Pat's turned it around with Bledsoe going down. Got to stay positive with this. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, in one of the videos recently, I talked about. I guess it was the one with Rodgers potentially going to Miami, which I don't think is really all that likely. That it led to Garrett Wilson. That was a good thing, but yeah, that would be cool. I'm good with Derek Carr, as I've been saying on this stream. If that's what it came down to, I think that's a good one. Yeah, nose kills dropping in. We've been talking about this a lot this evening. The Jay Fowler report. Carr leans towards the Jets over the Panthers. Good stuff. It was Zay Jones. You're right. Correct. That's who I was. Yeah, I was thinking of Zay Jones in a couple of years ago when they made the playoffs. You were correct. Phil chimes in and says Higgins is worth a big contract. If Jets can make room, he's a big 1 and 1A with Garrett Wilson. You're gonna have to trade pick 13 to do that. I don't think I would do it. I like T. Higgins, but I don't think I would do that, to be honest with you. Steven says if we get A Rod and D Hop, we're Super Bowl bound. Yeah, I mean, if Hopkins is anywhere close to what he was in his, he doesn't even have to be prime Hopkins. Like, what did he do last year? Pull that up for you. 717 yards in 9 games. He just hasn't played a lot the last 2 years, which scares me a little bit. He had 572 yards in 10 games in 21, and then in 9 games this year, 717 yards. But before that, man, 1,400, 1,100, 1,500, 1,300, 954 in 2016 with god awful quarterback play, if I remember. 1,500 in 2015, 1,200 in 2014. Who do you have 1,500 yards with in 2015? Who the hell was their quarterback that year? They lost to the Jets or the Jets lost to Houston that year with, wasn't like TJ Yates as their quarterback? Yeah. Brian Hoyer, Ryan Mallett, and TJ Yates throwing the football, and you still had 1,500 yards. That's Garrett Wilson like. Not quite, because that's 400 more yards, but still. Nick says, does Elijah Moore finally get over the hump with Rodgers or Carr? If he's utilized correctly, I think he absolutely could. I would move him back to the slot, and could we get him on some underneath stuff? Too many times last year, he was sent way too far down the field. That's not his strength. If we do sign Carr, we need to bring in a big time wide receiver via trade or draft. Need the most talent around the car. Yeah, you probably need one more. You're moving on from Corey Davis, so you need one more receiver. I agree with that. Crossfire says, I think Moore gets over the hump without Mike LaFleur. I think Mike LaFleur had it out for Moore for whatever reason. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the case. And we see guys like, I almost said Braxton Berrios, but I don't think he's going to be here. I think they end up cutting him. Denzel Mims breaks out a little bit. That'd be nice. That'd be a surprise. Got another super chat. If we ever leave MetLife, where would you want? Selfishly, in Queens, back to where they were at Shea. That would be a hell of a lot easier for me as someone from Long Island. I know there's a lot of Jersey Jet fans that would not like that. I get it. But for selfish reasons, that's where I would pick. Edward Ziff, what's up, my man? Says A-Rod is a no for me. Just sign Carr. We need to sign Q. Come on, and add a linebacker and safety. That's money we won't have with Rodgers. See, I get that, but Rodgers' cap hit next year isn't really that expensive. It's $15 million, and then 32 the next year. So Derek Carr's cap hit in 2023 is probably going to be more than Aaron Rodgers, I would guess. Now, it doesn't deter me from signing Carr. If it came down to it, then yeah. Steven says I'm not stoked Brown's coming back. He was a PB left tackle. We need a young stud. Pro Bowl, I'm guessing. Yeah, I still think you take a tackle at 13. He's 38 years old. Ooh, top Santonio Holmes, but as a Pirate, that always makes me laugh. Top 3 safeties you'd like to play free safety next year, draft and free agency. I really like, I've talked about him a ton on here, but I like Julian Love a lot. Jesse Bates is someone that I like a lot. And you see the guys who I like, the safeties that I like in the draft, I feel like more of them are strong safeties. Like JL Skinner is probably more of a strong safety. Jesse Bates is probably more of a strong safety. Oh, not Jesse Bates. I'm sorry. I mean, Jordan Battle, the Alabama safety, I like a lot. He's probably more of a strong safety. Yeah, those are the names that are jumping out to me right now. Phil says, "Oh my god, please near Shea. That's where I grew up." I love it. Dano, Matt, do you think Sauce can learn how to play the ball this year rather than face guarding? He could have had 10 picks if he could track the ball without losing a step. Until then, we need a ball hawk. Yeah, I think he'll have more interceptions this year. I don't think he's ever going to be like a Diggs kind of guy. What do you end up with? Two picks this year? Maybe four or five? I don't think he's ever going to be a guy with crazy high interception numbers. What did Revis end up having? Some numbers that he had in his career. Uh, is this gonna load? No. Pro Football Reference is really slow tonight. I don't know if you guys are having that problem. He had 6 picks in 2009, which was the most, but Revis in 2010 didn't have an interception. That's because he wasn't targeted a lot. But 6 was Revis's career high. I think it's not crazy to say four, like 4, 5, 6, somewhere in that range. DeBrick is also from Freeport. Yeah, DeBrickashaw. I mean, uh he donated to Freeport High School, that football field. I mean, I saw someone else ask earlier, but I'm in Nassau for now, but I'm looking to move to probably Suffolk County. Because Nassau's expensive, man. Oh my god, now you're really talking my language. Bring the Jets to the Nassau Coliseum. I don't know how they can make that work, building a football stadium in that space and have the parking. But that would be sick. I miss my Islanders there. I love UBS Arena is so nice. It's a beautiful, beautiful arena if you haven't seen it yet, but so convenient because like this was the Coliseum was like 10 minutes for me. If the Jets were 10 minutes from where I live, then I would go a hell of a lot more often than I would now. NSU says, "Let's go Knicks." Yeah, look, I've said this before. I'm not really a basketball fan, but I've been following along. They've been a fun story. They're playing really good games recently. The Julius Randle shot, game winner, sick. Did he? He says, "I remember he said he was going for 10 plus next season." I hope he does. I hope he gets it and proves me wrong. I just don't think he's gonna be targeted enough to get that many picks. Who wins in a fight, Buffalo Jet fan or Jet Central? Ooh, uh man, this is a really good one. I don't know how tall. I've never seen Ian before in real life. I've seen Buffalo Jet in real life, and I think I'm gonna go Buffalo Jet. With all due respect to Ian, I'm going Buffalo Jet in that one. Mike, my money's on V Man. And which one is that? Was there another fight example above that? No, but V Man, you can do it. Oh, if you could add one Mets player, this is a fun one. If you could add one Mets player to any position for the Jets, who would you take? Oh, I feel like it's got to be Vogelback. No, with that side. Actually, no, no. I'm gonna walk that back. Maybe not. Am I missing an obvious one here? I was gonna say Pete, but Pete's not like that. I don't think Pete's that fast, and neither is Vogelback, obviously. I don't know if there's a good Starling Marte is sneaky, like really built. So maybe he could be like a DB or something. Maybe that's our safety. Indy Jet says, Matt, you're going Hall of Fame weekend? Yes, I have not said it on a stream, but I have my tickets to the Hall of Fame induction. I have the hotel booked. I got to get tickets for Jets Browns, but yes, I will be there for Hall of Fame weekend if anyone else is going. I would love to meet up with you guys. I'm bringing my camera equipment. I want to do some man on the street stuff, talk to people, and hopefully meet up with some other Jets content creators. Does Buffalo have an MMA background? Oh man. Is he really 6'6", 250? Wow. He's taller than me. Okay. I like Ian is younger and goes to the gym. I might go with Jet Central. I like this. We got a few. Polar Bear, Strawberry at wide receiver, Max Scherzer as coach. Yeah, I think this is what I landed on. Marte at safety. Uh, we need a Jets content creator Royal Rumble. You know who wins that one? And I don't even think it's close. And I know he's older than all of us, but Green Bean. He has that feistiness to him. But Buffalo has the size, and apparently Ian might have the size too. I've never, like I said, I've never seen him in person before. So maybe he is a lot taller than I think. But well, actually, you know what? Joe Blewett's got to be pretty high on that list too. Yeah, that would be. Can you imagine? Nimmo, yeah, a few Nimmo answers. I give you that one. Oh, damn, I forgot about Tyson. How could Tyson could take all the consequences. He's a trained fighter. Yeah, he is. I take that. I walk that back. I'm sorry, Green Bean. I love you. You got that feistiness. He would last a heck of a lot longer in this than I would. But yeah, it's Tyson in a landslide. No, I completely forgot about his MMA background. Indy, yes, hell yeah. He's going to be there at the Hall of Fame weekend. Love it. I'm pretty sure Green Bean is going. I'm 99% sure he's going to be there too. So I'd love to do some live coverage. When do you think Carr is going to officially sign? I would think by the end of the week. Friday is my guess. I think you get the answer before the weekend because next Monday is when the tampering period starts. So you're 8 days away from the tampering period? Man. Phil says, I have to admit something as a Jets, Knicks, Mets fan. I've been beaten down. LOL. I only watch the Jets now. Yeah, it's tough. I'm not a basketball fan, so I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm not a Nets fan either. I don't really follow it. But Jets, Islanders, Mets, those are three tough teams. Jets chaos wins that battle. Jeremy ain't winning. He's getting knocked. Oh, here we go. Buffalo's chimes in. Great debate. Yes, I am BJJ junkie, but Ian would melt me with those green eyes, and Green Bean's old man strength would dominate all. I love this. This is so funny. Dan NY says disappointed if JD decides to sign Carr over A-Rod. No, I wouldn't be. I would say okay, I get it. Honestly, even though my preference is Rodgers over Carr, I would say I get it. You're not giving up any assets. You don't want to deal with the inconsistency of will he play or will he not play. And I think Carr would be fine. I really do. It's really made me laugh. The funny thing, like Tyson is genuinely like one of the nicest people that I've ever met. Genuinely great guy. I had him on the channel recently, a couple weeks ago. We talked about his promotion that he's doing. That's coming up soon. So by the way, I'll plug it again because it's something that I really believe in, and I think he's just genuinely a good guy and supporting a good cause. It's his pin tweet. So just give me a second. I'm going to pull it up right now. He is doing 54 miles in 48 hours and running to bring awareness to veterans dealing with mental health challenges. He has a GoFundMe, a link to buy a shirt, and he's going to be filming it as he goes. And I think from March 10th, so that's going to be here soon, March 10th to March 12th. So Tyson's a sweetheart. He can kill us, so he could kick our ass, but he's a sweetheart. Is it possible to go to Hall of Fame weekend and see y'all without the 2K package? I don't know what the 2K package is. I will be there. I'm down to, just hang with you guys. I got my tickets on my own. I didn't do it through. Is this the Gang Green Nation thing? Um yeah, my tickets aren't through that. So I'm on my own. Steven says, watch O'Leary talking to fans. I had the same reaction as seeing Stephen A stand next to Daniel Cormier. Yeah. People don't realize how tall I am. 6'4", maybe 6'5" if I stand up straight. That'd be wild. Imagine seeing Rodgers at Citi Field this summer. You know what that reminds me of? I'm sorry, I've been talking a lot of like my teams, and I'm gonna bring back the Islanders again. But in 2021, when they went on their deep playoff runs, like when they would show that was right when Robert Saleh was hired, and they showed like Zach Wilson and the offensive lineman on the screen, the place was going nuts. Or even if you're a Rangers fan, they did that last year, right? Didn't wasn't Sauce Gardner at a playoff game? Or there were definitely a bunch of Jets there. That is so cool. Seeing your guys there would be awesome. Richard from Jersey says green bean is old school Jersey. Hashtag winner. There we go. I love it. This is cracking me up. Ian was trained by Chuck Norris. Oh, that's great. Tigo, what's up, man? He's hanging with us. He says, "How we feeling in here? I think we got an announcement tomorrow. I hope so, man. That well, actually, maybe not. Can I, for selfish reasons, say I hope it doesn't happen tomorrow? Tomorrow's my girlfriend's birthday, so I have dinner reservation. So with my luck, the Jets announcement's going to happen probably right around 6:45, between like 6:45 and 8 o'clock tomorrow, right in just a terrible window. So selfishly, I hope it's not tomorrow, but it very well could be. It's going to be over sooner rather than later. Oh, what about Gunny? That's a good one. Yeah, yeah, Gunny could hold his own, I would think. Blitz Crew says, "You think Galladay is worth a flyer?" No, I'd probably for a flyer wide receiver, I'd rather go with DJ Shark, I think, which obviously he's not as good as Galladay at his prime, but he would give the Jets a nice deep threat. I know he gets hurt a lot, but I would say DJ Shark as my flyer wide receiver. These are so good. Jake Asen's middle name is Kick. Oh man, Hennessy says I met Matt week 1 in the hangar. Yeah, almost broke my neck looking up. That's fantastic. Yeah, that was awesome hanging out with you guys. Oh, the Mets were MSG. There we go. Yes, the a bunch of Mets were at the Rangers game. That's right. Anonymous says, "What are your thoughts on Luke Weipler in the third as opposed to Schmitz in the second? If he's there in the third, yeah, I'm okay with that. I like him a lot. He's probably my second favorite center behind John Michael Schmitz. So if you're telling me both are there, then I probably would just pull the trigger on JMS in the second. But let's play the game. Let's say he's not available, but instead the Jets take Weipler. Yeah, I'm in on that. Steven says trade up for Richardson. I think he's a little bit of a project. I don't think he's ready to start right away. He has a high ceiling, but he's a very boomer bust player. I feel like he had a great combine. He has a cannon for an arm. He is a freak athlete. His accuracy is not ready yet. His pocket presence, I don't think, is ready yet. He needs to develop. No, on it. I don't really like or love. I'll say I don't really love this quarterback class. I think I might like CJ Stroud the best, which is that sounds crazy to me because most people say Bryce Young, but Bryce Young's size scares me a little bit. Will Levis has a cannon arm, but I'm not sold on him either. Richardson is he kind of reminds me of Trey Lance coming out a couple years ago. I thought he was a little bit of a project, but I think if he goes to the right set of circumstances, he could be very good. But I don't think he's some like dead set thing. Oh, talking Jets with Tico. You saw tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Perfect. We can all do our reaction. This is it. Tigo, I like where your head's at there. I'm sold on that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When Bryce Young comes in at 5'10", Kyler's 5'10". He's also a special athlete. I am not sold on like selling multiple picks, tons of picks to get up there and take Bryce Young or really any of these guys. I think I'm most comfortable with Stroud, honestly. Ooh, what is more likely, Rodgers to the Jets or Otani to the Yankees or Mets in a year? I really think Otani to the Mets has some legs. Or I mean, theoretically, he could go to the Yankees too. Dodgers will also be in the mix, but teaming up with Senga and the Mets, it just feels like kind of feels like a lock. Plus, they don't really have DH figured out. Rodgers also feels kind of likely. I'm going to say Otani to the Mets feels more likely. Tigo could hang. He was a medic in the Navy. Yeah, yeah. Tigo, you're lasting a lot longer in this battle royale than I am. I could tell you that much. You're gonna Hooters or All American for your girl's birthday. That's great. She lives in Bayside. We're going to an Italian place in Bayside. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. I can't tell you. Oh, was it? A bunch of Jets players were at the Rangers games too? Okay. Then I was right. Yo, this is so true, by the way. And it would have a recap video made and uploaded before the last dude's head hit the mat. I don't know how he gets his videos out so quick. That man is a machine. It is an absolute machine on YouTube. How he gets this stuff up. Because I thought I got the reaction up or the Dwayne Brown for today video up pretty quick. But Ian and I think Buffalo Jet had got his up right before mine as well. I was walking the dog. I was like 5 minutes from home. I was like, great. Went home, bang, record. The video itself ended up being like a 6-minute video. So I didn't edit that crazy, but both of them got it up right away. It's awesome. Oh, I'm gonna say Galladay for the Giants was worse than Le'Veon for the Bell. Both Le'Veon for the Jets, both pretty bad though. Mike says, "Do you have to sign Quinnen before a quarterback and take care of his house before bringing in new money?" Uh, I don't think so. I mean, that's gonna come. I'm very confident they get an extension done with Quinnen, but I don't think that has to be the first move of free agency. I don't. Oh, okay. I'm not alone, I guess. Stroud is QB1 for Tigo. Daniel says Stroud is the safest prospect in the class. And Jets King says CJ Stroud is a pocket passer day one. I okay. So I'm not alone in that take then. Matthew says, all I'm saying is trade for Tay and sign Carr. Solid. And I'm a Raiders fan. All right, Matthew. I appreciate it. You're good. Can you give us any other thoughts on Carr? I'm pretty confident in him. I think he would be a fine quarterback, and especially on this Jets team with the weapons they have on offense, I think he'd be pretty solid. Oh, he goes Stroud, Levis, AR-15, and Young. Okay. Rodgers or bust. You know it, Matt. No. I'm still good with Carr, but got here late. You going to the draft? I'm from Nebraska, thinking about going because it's the closest it'll probably ever be for me. But I'm getting a baby GSD next week, so I might have to stay home. That is awesome. I am a huge fan of German Shepherds. So please enjoy that dog. I will not be going to the draft. I will be live streaming with Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7 and Green Bean. We do it all 3 days on Ryan's channel. It is my favorite thing we do every single year. We're starting the prep for it already. We've had a few emails going back and forth about it. I'm excited. We're gonna try to do this thing as big as we can. I don't know if we'll be able to break our numbers from last year because the Jets had so many high picks and the interest was so much. But it's a blast. I love doing it. But no, I will not be at the draft. I'm going to be home live streaming it with these guys. Kev says, "How was Senga today?" I thought he gave up a home run, but other than that, I thought he was pretty solid. I thought he was all right. The ghost ball or ghost fork ball has some nice movement to it. Boy Green has a temper. He's a wild man. You ever see? He's a black belt, so he would be in that mix too. These are people that we forget. Here we go. Talking Jets with Tigo. Same thing. He got his 40 and 5 seconds after. So we were right on the money. We got it out pretty quick too. What else we got going on in here? Yeah, I wasn't correcting you, by the way, Matt. Someone in the chat, but yeah, Sauce, Zach, and a few others been to multiple Rangers games. Sauce more recently. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I was pretty sure that his Jets went to. So I definitely remember seeing Sauce at a Rangers game. Garrett, maybe Garrett did go at one point, but he definitely went to a Knicks game recently, if I remember correctly. Jets game, they're talking Lamar. Yeah, so with Lamar, they might do the non-exclusive tag where someone could offer him a contract and get him for 2 first-round picks. Intriguing. I don't think that's all gonna happen, like, as quickly as this Rodgers and Carr situation is gonna happen, so I think the likelihood of Lamar being a Jet, I think, is much lower than either of those 2 guys that I listed ahead of them, but Lamar would be exciting. CJ Stroud is Deshaun Watson with morals. I love that comp. Oh God. Matt proposes tomorrow, gets married. They have a baby and name it City Field following Ryan. I do, I do love the name Shay. Because well, can you guess? I'm Irish, as I have the reddish hair and the reddish beard while wearing the hold on, I gotta minimize this. The Ireland sweatshirt tonight. I do love that name. Shay is a beautiful name. City Field would be funny. So, fun fact, pull this up for a second. My uncle is also a huge Mets fan. The first dog that they had, his name was Shay after Shea Stadium, and then that dog sadly passed like a year or two ago. And their new dog is named City after City Field. So they kind of followed that trajectory. Oh, I agree. Okay. So top 5 for who would finish in the Royal Rumble in order is Tyson, Gunny, Green Bean, Blewett, Buffalo, Jet. Yeah, that's a really good top 5. I do think that, um, I think Boy Green might be higher up on this list than I think some are giving him credit for. I really think Boy Green has that karate background. I'm not saying he's winning the thing. I think Tyson walks away with it. Gunny is very high on the list. Green Bean is also high. He's scrappy. Green Bean is scrappy. Blewett, I feel like could hang, and Buffalo Jet absolutely could. Yeah. Yeah, where is Jets Forever today? I haven't seen him in here. Y'all are fake. Zach the answer. That's funny. Yeah, Hennessy says love the draft watch party. Honestly, it's my favorite thing we do every year. It really is. They're long. They're 3 long days of streaming. I think the last day we edited it up earlier. It's like 22 hours of streaming in a 3-day period. It's a lot, but yeah. Steven says, "Hey Matt, look at Matt Stafford's career stats and Derek Carr's career stats. They almost mirror each other." Well, the one thing with Stafford, he had a couple of really monster years. Here, let's get this on the main page so I can share it. Actually, no, I'm not going to share it just because Pro Football Reference has been really slow, and I just don't want to mess with this stream. But he did have a 5,000 yard and 41 touchdown season. He had 240 touchdown seasons. So I wouldn't say probably not. I think Stafford's a little bit higher, but in terms of like Carr being able to come here and have success, like Stafford went to the Rams and had success, I think that is 100% on the table. Jets fanatic, what up, man? How's it going? Who is your quarterback in the 18 draft? I don't know if he's asking me or someone else. Um, Oh, Joe S is saying Allen. Okay. Well, I know he's talking to someone else in the chat, but I want to go down. I clicked on it, so I'll go down memory lane. I did not want Josh Allen. He was my fifth quarterback. So the ones who went in the first round, my list was Darnold, Baker, Rosen, Lamar, Allen, in that order. That's how I ranked the class. But yeah. Everyone who wants Carr is uneducated. There we go. Fools. He's trying to say fools. Fool is such a funny word. I can't say. Dan says, "Do you think Carr is going to take flight like the DeLorean to the glory days of a Super Bowl championship?" I think they can win with Derek Carr. I really do. I think they would have a good chance at it. Talk about West Side Stadium, please. Yeah, that was what was that in the early 2000s? They were supposed to do that. I don't think they're going to do that now. I don't know how much I would have liked that because that takes away the tailgating, right? There wouldn't have been a really an area to tailgate that. What else is there to add? I've seen this comment in here a couple times. I don't know what else there is. The West Side Stadium was something that was going on like years and years ago. I don't think this is relevant to now. What was this place, Phil? There's a place in Bayside years ago, probably still there, that you could only pay cash. Excellent place. I did. Top. He said Michael Vick and Deshaun Watson, which probably aren't your best choices because of how things went. Um, yeah, I did see how that went, but from an on-field perspective, sure, maybe, but off the field, yeah. Trump says you also wear a lot of green, Matt. I do. Big on the green, whether it's Jets or just in general. Oh, a steakhouse, he says. Phil says a steakhouse. Is there anything special going on with the Nassau Coliseum? I don't think so. There's really not much going on there. The Brooklyn Nets minor league team, what is it, the D League or is it the Gatorade League? I don't know. They play there. There's a lacrosse team that plays there, the Riptide. They do like little things, but there's really not. It's sad. If you drive by, it's pretty much a ghost town. There's no reason. UBS is newer and it's nicer. There's no reason to go. There's not much else in the area either. You know, you're on Hempstead Turnpike. There's the Marriott and like Starbucks across the street, and like that's it. There we go. I agree. I want Rodgers, but happy with Carr. Yep, that's kind of where I'm at too. Mike Cherry says green bean's a wild card like McFoley. That's great. Who would be the gold dust of the Jet Royal Rumble? What's the gold dust? Is that a wrestling term? It probably is. I'm not a big. Dustin Rhodes. I don't know. I can't answer that. Will you do a free agency show next Wednesday? I plan on it, Jerome. Yes, I plan to be live for a while during free agency. Few hours. Absolutely. I was last year, and it should be even better this year. But yes, my plan is to be live during free agency. It officially starts at noon, I believe. Yes. And then after that, though, I'm going to take you guys on the road. Not really, but kind of. So hopefully we get the news come out like kind of fast and furious because from Tuesday or Thursday rather through Sunday, I'll be spending St. Patty's weekend in Boston. I'm very excited for it. But I'm bringing my laptop and my USB mic, so we'll do live shows from there. But it's not going to be the same like in-depth coverage. So I want these things to happen like right away in free agency day. Did you hear Saleh tell Beningo about the Lions loss that he didn't think about calling timeout until the next day his coaches told him the logic? Yeah, that was weird. That was a mistake. I think that was no doubt a mistake from Robert Saleh. He's got to learn from that. He's got to be better than that. Best case scenario with Carr is a Stafford-like situation, leaves a shitty defense team and wins the Super Bowl with a team with a good defense. I do think that is possible. I do too. I agree. Uh, yeah, I thought I remembered that. MSG also had a whole campaign against the West Side Stadium. I like that. I was pretty young when that was going on, so I don't know all the details, but that I do seem like I vaguely remember that. Yes, Casey says, "Is green your favorite color?" Yes, it is. Like like a dark green, like a jet green. Honestly, yes, green's my favorite color. Who signed your seat cushion? The people need a tour. All right, we'll pop it up. It's we'll see. Let me see if I can make out any of these signatures. We had pretty much. So I live very close to Hofstra, like 10 minutes from Hofstra. So from like 2002 to 2008, before they left, I went to a ton of Jets practices. So let's see, 34. I think that was Dwight Lowry. That looks like a Dwight Lowry signature. James Dirth, the long snapper. Marcus Henry, I believe, was 14. That's Ben Graham, the punter. On the back, this is Dustin Keller, 89. I guess that's Jericho Cotchery. I didn't even realize I had Cotchery's number, but it had to be. Who else was 89 during those years? 88. Is that Bubba Franks? This very well could be a Bubba Franks signature from 2008. 65. Is that Brandon Moore? This could be Brandon Moore. I don't know who else. I don't know. 75. Don't know. My favorite thing, though, I think you guys have seen it, but I'll show you the picture even. Hang on one second. If you know, back in the day, so I pop it up on this screen. Behind this sign, it's hard with the mirrored. So behind the sign, that frame that you see is a signed Sean Ellis jersey, but there's a picture of me, a young Matt O'Leary with Sean Ellis. Give me 2 seconds. It's my favorite thing in the world. Hang tight. Okay. All right. So on Monday nights, they used to do a show, a live radio show from this restaurant. I forget what it was called, but they always had a player there. And one time it was Sean Ellis, who was one of my favorite players growing up. And I got a picture with him. I was the only one there wearing his jersey. And my mom was like, "Can you take a picture with my son? He's the only one in here wearing your jersey." And he was like, "Yeah, okay." Very, very nice guy. Was super friendly. Took the picture. But if he got drug tested, I don't think he would have passed. I don't know if it's going to focus up on him. Yeah, Sean Ellis does not look above the influence in this picture. I would say he is under the influence in this picture, if I had to guess. So if he got randomly drug tested that week, I don't think he would have passed, but thank God he did not. Jetcast, what's up? Make sure to check out their YouTube channel. They do good work over there over at Jetcast. Love them. Keep McGovern or draft a center. I am team draft a center. McGovern was okay, but I think he's going to cost you too much. I think he's getting a raise in free agency. And if he's getting over $10 million a year, I'd rather draft the next long-term center of the future. Got a few Jets should move to Queens, says Joe S. There we go. Matt, do you think the Jets are in this win now mode, trying to win once instead of a dynasty teams like Chiefs, Pats, etc.? Well, The problem is that that's the only reason those teams are dynasty teams is because of who played the quarterback position. So you don't really have that luxury when guys like you're gonna have to pay Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Quentin Williams is gonna get his contract. Brees Hall, AVT. You can't keep this core forever. So the time to strike is when they're on their rookie deal. So they have a window of this next opportunity, and depending on their quarterback play, will determine how long they are in the window for. How much can you get on eBay for that seat cushion? I have no idea. I have not a single clue who would want to buy that. Oh god. M, what's up? Greetings from Germany. I love it. 2:06 a.m. where you are. You're a trooper for that. Love the little background in the life of Matt. Yeah, that's what we do on these streams. We can have some fun with it. Dano says that's awesome. Kelly's not a fan of Carr. Carr's a bad move. What surprising first round pick can you see the Jets making? Would Jackson Smith and Jigba or a wide receiver be a surprise? Or maybe an edge rusher? Like, man, who would be a surprise? I'm trying to think of like who would be a really good one. Uh someone who's gonna be there. I you know who I like actually? Um the the edge rusher. Oh my god, why am I blanking on what the hell his name is? Oh, actually, I changed my answer. Sorry, Kalijah Cansey would be my surprise first round pick because I think he's a stud. And Luke Van Ness was, by the way, was my other edge rusher. There you go. I'm from Hempstead. It was seriously bragging rights to tell my friends I shared the same barbershop with some of the Jets players in third grade. That is sick. That's awesome. My mom grew up in Hempstead, so I know the area well. Trenton Simpson. There we go. A running back. That would be such a mess. I think if they went with a running back. Surprise pick would be a punter. That's great. Indy says, "Ooh, I'm looking forward to this. I'll have to tell you the story of meeting Gastineau back in '84 as a 12-year-old at an indie game. Yes, I need to know." Uh, gun to your head. If you had to trade Garrett or Sauce in 3 hours because of cap, who would it be? Oh, God. I don't want to trade either of them. I don't know. Uh, I guess Sauce because the defense is good. I think they could survive without him. But Garrett, that wide receiver room would really stink without Garrett. So I guess Sauce, but I don't want to. Don't make me answer that question. Oh God. All right, I got time for a few more. I've been on for over an hour. We'll do a few more in here, and then I got to pop out. Hennessy says we need another playmaker. Probably. I agree with that. Wide receiver and tight end, New York Jets super fan wants to see. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Jalen Hyatt doesn't really do much for me. I think he's going to be strictly a slot guy due to his size. Dano says 2023, the year of Rucker. I would love that. Sign me the hell up for that. I saw Not during the I was gonna say during the offseason, but it wasn't. It was at the end of the season. I saw Bill Ruckert out. A legend, Bill. He's the best. Rooting for him. Could Rodgers pick the Jets because his girlfriend lives in New York? That is a something that I didn't know. I did not know his girlfriend's from New York. Maybe that would help things. Hyatt at 13 or we failed. Really? Wow. If you hit blackjack at the tables when you want to be back for more, that's how I see JD with his draft picks. He wants more picks. Okay. And maybe he does. So maybe he'll move around, I guess, in the draft. That's possible. Rocket Rucker. There we go. All right, I think that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. I really appreciate you guys hanging with me. It was a fun stream. Hopefully, we have an answer at the quarterback position soon. We'll have more coverage coming at you. I got a mock draft Monday coming out tomorrow, and just more coverage throughout the week. Thank you so much for hanging with me. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time. Go Jets.